Hello and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is a horror movie review and I'll be having a look at The Tunnel. So The Tunnel was a found footage movie filmed in Australia on a very meagre budget. Now, there's going to be a couple of spoilers in this review, so I pre-warn you. The story here focuses on a sort of small news group of 4 people as they initially set out to investigate some sort of shady sort of government politics in regards to these sort of underground tunnels which kind of want to be used for some kind of water storage, and they find out that this is where the homeless generally are sort of going to sort of sleep in the winter and stuff like this. But there's been reports that these homeless people are sort of going missing, and they suspect something else might be going on. So, unauthorised by their editors and what have you, these 4 intrepid reporters decide to sneak into these tunnels and investigate for themselves. And of course, they find more than they bargained for in the form of some kind of creature that's kind of in these tunnels and living there and ends up stalking them. I've mentioned this is obviously a low-budget movie. Now, the creature itself, you don't really ever see the creature in any type of sort of detail. I'll come on to that again in a little bit, because there's a few sort of theories sort of flying around about what the creature is. But suffice to say, you'll never see this creature in anything more than a very, very quick shot in very kind of grainy, dark footage and kind of blurry. So don't expect it to be a creature feature. It does set up quite a good mood. And then these found footage films, this is what they're all about ultimately, is create this kind of like realistic atmosphere. But it does rely very, very heavily on sort of jump scares. Now, for the budget, it's obviously doing the best it can for it's very, very low budget. And it does create, as I say, a very good sense of dread. And you kind of, it's quite a creepy movie. The kind of footage that these guys are filming with their phone is interspliced with kind of like security footage here and there as well. But one of the issues that I have with it is that the actual footage is it has these kind of interview bits in there, and what I mean by that is it's almost like you're watching this thing on TV and it's meant to be like this sort of documentary about what's happened, and it has an interview with the 2 remaining sort of surviving camera crew and the sort of the actual female news reporter throughout the actual film. So you know that these 2 characters are going to survive, and it stands to reason that the other 2 characters are probably going to die. So unfortunately, that kind of undercuts a lot of the sort of dramatic tension, because you know who's going to live and you know who's going to die right from the beginning of this film. And the other thing I think that it does is it actually kind of breaks up the tension a little bit, which was possibly not the greatest idea. So it's a strange thing that they've done with regards to that. I mean, I guess if we're meant to be sort of watching it as a kind of sort of false documentary and what have you, I guess that's what it would look like. But at the end of the day, for watching it as a kind of movie, it does kind of cut up the narrative. Now, in regards to the creature, obviously I have mentioned you really don't see the creature. I'll try and put a kind of an image of literally the best sort of you'll get to see of it, but it's very kind of, as I say, very murky. I'm guessing that it's some kind of humanoid. There's a few theories that I've kind of seen on the internet. I mean, I think they're probably the most logical one, that it's obviously some kind of sort of subterranean humanoid that's probably lived under there and kind of almost de-evolved to a certain point, and very much like The Descent, if you've seen that movie. Kind of looks a little bit like Gollum. I actually think it looks like one of these kind of old Star Trek sort of aliens that we see. But, wherever it is, it's kind of a humanoid. There's some theories that it may be someone's kind of sort of satanic beast or something, because there's some evidence of satanic rituals. And other theories point to kind of maybe a sort of radiation mutation or something like that, because it's a shot with sort of radiation sign as well. But at the end of the day, we don't know, and I think the filmmakers have obviously left it ambiguous, which kind of does leave it to the kind of, leave it to the imagination to some degree. But that's not going to be for everyone's taste. You're certainly not going to get any answers here. This is really just a mood piece, if anything else. It does a good job of that, and I have to say, I did think the acting was very good, because, I mean, one thing I will say about the interviews, it does kind of make it seem like these guys are kind of just being interviewed about this an event that's happened. So I have to say the acting I thought was pretty decent. And you kind of do get to know the characters. It's a relatively small cast. You kind of do get to know the characters to some degree, and you kind of, you are aware of who's who and, who's in danger and who's missing from the group and stuff like that. So I will give it props for that. So it's probably a slightly above average found footage film, but I don't think it's a particularly satisfying one. So I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Have you seen it? What are your opinions on it? Leave me a comment. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.